The key turned in the lock with a soft jingle that somehow struck a discordant note in my chest. For the first time in months, I felt the tension twist tightly in my gut. From inside, Amelia's laughter rang outright, unrestrained, and utterly. At odds with the storm churning inside me, it had been 6 long months. 6 months of subtle distance, late work nights, hushed conversations behind closed doors. 6 months of watching love rot from the inside out. My heart had been shattering slowly, piece by piece, in agonizing silence. She appeared in the doorway mid-laugh and froze. The sound died in her throat, like a wounded bird, at her eyes once. Lit with a sparkle I had adored, widened in horror. Her hand flew to her mouth, a silent gasp catching there. That look, that exact reaction was what I had been waiting for. Everything had led to this moment. Laid out on the bed was a culmination of weeks of quiet planning. Every detail curated like exhibits in a gallery of betrayal. Not just text messages or emails, though I had those too, neatly printed, some even framed like twisted little trophies. No, I went further. I retrieved the silk scarf she claimed she had lost, found hidden in the glove box of Cameron's car, her colleague. There was a receipt from the cozy mountain cabin she had supposedly visited to care for her sick mother. And then the centerpiece, an enlarged photograph of Amelia and Cameron in an embrace outside a dimly lit restaurant. The darkness obscured their faces, but the intimacy in their body language was undeniable. It hit like a gut punch. Amelia stepped back, visibly shaken. Her face was bloodless. I stood still, my tone oddly even despite the tempest swirling within. "Explain to me," I said quietly. "You destroyed us brick by painful brick while looking me in the eyes every single morning." She tried to speak, but her lips moved without sound. She looked like an animal cornered, searching for an exit that didn't exist. This was the moment I had envisioned 100 times, the deceiver confronted by the truth they thought would stay buried. "Where is he, Amelia?" I asked, my voice deathly cold. "I just spoke with his wife. Turns out Cameron called in sick today." It's strange how things fall apart when the lies catch up, isn't it? She flinched, and for the first time the tears came real, hot, unstoppable. Her face crumbled, but I pressed on. "He's not at work," I said bitterly. "Involved his wife. But once I learned he was married too, the timing became perfect. Misery, after all, rarely travels alone." I pulled out my phone and dialed. When Cameron answered, my voice cut like ice. "Should come home. I have something to show you." He arrived not long after, wearing a cocky smirk that vanished the moment he saw the scene. Amelia, the bed of evidence, the weight of their deceit. She looked like a ghost. What followed wasn't conversation, it was chaos. Words became weapons, tears flowed freely, and all the lies they had woven unraveled in one violent, messy collapse. It was ugly, but it was necessary. And then Salansa, deep, crushing quiet that settled in the wreckage. Amelia looked at me, her voice barely a whisper. "John, please." But the man she had once known, the one who would love her unconditionally, was long gone. He had died slowly, torn apart by every lie, every excuse, every second glance at her phone. With no emotion left to offer, I simply said, "The divorce was ugly. I want you gone." Time passed. I sold the house where both laughter and heartbreak had lived. I started over in a new city. The sharpness of the pain dulled. The memories faded like old photographs. Acceptance replaced rage. I no longer checked shadows for ghosts. Cameron and Amelia didn't last, their relationship collapsing on itself. Implosion of guilt and blame. I didn't revel in their suffering. I felt nothing but exhaustion. I had already lived through the worst. Years later, I sat in a quiet cafe reading. Life had become gentler. Then I heard a familiar laugh, slightly older, a little thinner. I looked up. Amelia stood across the room. Time had marked her face. Her eyes still held sorrow. Gazes met briefly. For a split second, the years rolled back, the bedroom, the bed, the photograph. Then she looked away, shame flickering behind her lashes. I closed my book. A small, tired smile touched my lips. The anger was gone, replaced by something quieter. Peace I had endured. I had rebuilt. That in the end was the most satisfying. Revenge. I stepped out into the sunlight, leaving the past behind.